Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch was a release from Omega in 2024, part of the new generation of Seamaster Diver 300 meters. So Omega Seamaster Diver 300 meter titanium bronze gold. So we have bronze gold 9-carat elements like the helium escape valve, the bezel, and the crown. And then we have grade 2 titanium for the case as well as the bracelet and clasp. The watch is 42 millimeters in diameter. You can see it's a no-date dial, and the dial as well as the bezel insert are now aluminum for more of a vintage look. We have a new bombe or domed plexi-like sapphire, and the dial itself features a domed profile. 42 in diameter, the size has not changed in that regard, nor is the thickness since the previous model at 13.9 millimeters thick, with a 49.7 millimeter lug-to-lug distance across the wrist and a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We've got a vintage style mesh bracelet with a straight bar junction, which looks fantastic. This model, as well as many of the 2024 Diver 300 meters based on 2019's James Bond No Time to Die special edition. And the watch wears nicely. Being primarily titanium, it is quite light. It's not super thick. As Omegas go these days, this is actually on the thinner side, and it will fit underneath most cuffs. You can see down the barrel, because this particular type of bracelet doesn't feature any protruding end links. 49.7 across the wrist is the true distance across the wrist. Taking a look at the bracelet, it's a little bit of a hybrid in that it works like a strap, but it's made of links of metal like a bracelet. So you can see we've got the straight bar, 60s dive watch style, and then these start as big sheets of chainmail, and they're then cut to the dimensions of the bracelet, and then the sides are milled to remove burrs and sharpness. And then we've got individual, I guess you could call them grommets, that allow the buckle to fit in. Now, this is very different from a conventional bracelet where you remove links or add links to size. This works like a strap with a buckle, pins, and holes for the pins. You also have quite a bit of security here, as this system features a little locking clamshell with a spring-loaded ceramic pin snap. So the idea here is that you will simply feed it through, just like that, and then you will lock down into one of these little grommets. And by doing so, you're offering a lot more protection than if it were just a folding clasp, because once this is down and secured, there's no way for pull-through to accidentally rip the bracelet out of the clasp. So that's a little extra measure of security, and the ceramic is there because the ceramic can never be worn down by the titanium here, so this will remain snappy with time. And the way it all works ultimately is that you'll have all of this extra length underneath the bracelets. There's no minder loops as though this were a strap. You don't need those because all the extra length is underneath. And you can see that the buckle features twin trigger release, so it cannot pop open. Pressing one trigger or the other is not enough. You got to press them both to make sure that this is deployed. Otherwise, it's going to stay shut and keep your watch secure, which is exactly what you want with a sports watch. Lyre-style lugs. Easier to see here than in almost any other application. You have these outward bevels, and then you have these inward bevels. We've got a little conical helium escape valve with a combination of media blast and knurling. You open this up, and when you surface from your saturation dive, the helium that is aggregated inside the watch will escape through this open valve when internal pressure exceeds external by about 2 to 3 bars. So for saturation divers, that is for you. The bezel is still 120 click. Now, over the years, the action of the Diver 300 meter bezel has gotten a lot lighter and crisper, but you still have a very shallow knurling, which is a design that goes right back to the original Diver 300 meter in 1993. So you want to make sure you set this before your dive because it might be a little bit difficult to manipulate with wet hands. Bronze gold, what is it? Well, it's 37.5% gold, or 9 carats hallmarked, and it is a combination of bronze and gold. It is precious metal, and it's got a nice rose gold-like luster, but it's also more distinctly bronze in color, so somewhere between rose gold and bronze. It definitely checks both boxes. It's a lovely looking material, and everything here is satin brushed, so it's a muted kind of metallic shine. It's not bright bling, and it looks really good, highly refined. The watch actually looks more expensive than it is, and that's all to its credit. We now have an anodized aluminum and domed dial profile. We also now have anodized aluminum bezel inserts. We'll do a quick lume shot here. So you can see that the bezel is fully lumed, and so a little bit like an old military spec Submariner or Seamaster, you could see every single minute, and unlike a lot of those vintage watches, every single minute here is luminescent. We've got the famed skeleton-style hands associated with James Bond over the years, since Pierce Brosnan first donned Omega in 1995. And notice that the minute hand and the bezel pearl are green, so this different color from everything else on the dials. You can read them relative to each other quite quickly. You also note that the seconds hand is loomed, so as the watch is ticking, you can see that it's running if you're diving at night or below ambient light. So plenty of lume, no shortage there. Taking a look at the dial, obviously a no-date dial. It's got faux tina, although it's such a handsome complementary color to match the bezel and the external gold, and it contrasts handsomely and softly with the olive green of the dial, so I really like this. You can see the satin finished approach continues all the way down to the individual indices and then the hands, because the hands are beautifully brushed for a muted effect. And then we have this chaptering style scale for seconds and minutes outboard. I know 300 meters and 1,000 feet is not an exact conversion. Everyone knows that, but every Swiss watch brand seems to do it. We do have hacking seconds, obviously no quick set because there is no date. And you can really see how different this sapphire is compared to the last one. Very plexi-like. Crown guards, turn it all over, caliber 8806, which is basically the 8800, albeit without a date. So, automatic winding, 55-hour power reserve, coaxial escapement with tangential rather than sliding friction. Tangential is less. 25,200 vibrations per hour. A full balance bridge and a free-sprung balance for shock resistance, 35 joules, hacking seconds, and it is a master chronometer, so via anti-magnetic escapement, balance staff, and silicon hairspring, tested to over 15,000 Gauss as part of the METAS chronometer certification. It's everything a COSC movement is, but more. The full watch is tested in the METAS evaluation for chronometry to no worse than -0 +5 seconds per 24 hours. Winding efficiency for the full 55-hour power reserve, it's tested. Water resistance is tested. Shock resistance, everything, including the 1.5 Tesla magnetic shock. And it is a movement that's good to look at. Although mechanically finished, you could see we have arabesque Côte de Genève, both blackened and polished screws, and then handsome, machine finished, but handsome bevels. All of this with a single barrel, visible under the barrel bridge, and again, 35 pivot joules. If you love this latest version of the Omega Seamaster Diver 300 meter, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.